Hello and welcome, my students slash children of chaos, and welcome to anyone new who wishes to take part in our chaotic deeds. I am Silver Chaos, also known as Darth Novel, and today we will be doing the continuation of What If Cthulhu were sealed inside of Naruto. Now, where we last left off, Naruto, along with Sasuke, Sakura, Hinata, and all of them, passed the Shinobi Academy. Of course, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would still be on the same team due to, one, the council would want Sasuke to be trained by Kakashi, the last known person to have a Sharingan, and two, well, Kakashi has his duties to uphold to his sensei, to someone he viewed as a father figure, to uphold and train his son, And Sakura, she just exists there. Don't worry, she gets more useful later. Now, so as soon as Iruka would call out the teams, Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura would all have to wait a while before Kakashi, decided to show up. And so Naruto this time would not play his prank on Kakashi. Kakashi would pop his head in, and seeing Naruto, he would feel a shiver go up his spine, and he would say, "Hey yo, kids, y'all look hella boring. Meet me on the roof." And they'd all walk up there, or Naruto would run up there, Sasuke would walk, and Sakura would be following closely behind Sasuke in hopes that he'd notice her. When Naruto would make it up there, he'd look at Kakashi and he would say, when do we start?" And Kakashi would give him a nice smile and say, "Be patient, Naruto, be patient." Sasuke and Sakura would closely make it to the roof, and Kakashi would say, "Yo, my name's Kakashi Hatake, and, well, y'all aren't truly on my team yet, but before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legend." No, I'm just fucking with you guys. Now he would say, "Before we get into that, I need y'all to introduce yourselves." And so Sakura would, of course, say the same thing as in canon. You do it first to give us an introduction. And Kakashi would oblige. He'd say, "My name is Kakashi Hatake, and I have many likes, many dislikes. Don't really have any dreams, but hey." And so Sakura would go next. She'd, of course, still be fanboying over Sasuke, and Sasuke would still be his same old emo edgy self, but realistically emo edgy self. And Naruto would, in this instance, say that his likes are, instead of just ramen, he'd say his likes are training and upholding the true shinobi way. His dislikes are people who don't follow their usefulness to the Hokage and the people, and his dream is to become the next god of shinobi. Kakashi would, of course, see part of himself in Naruto, I mean, he used to have those same basic ideals. And, well, he'd then proceed to tell them about how they're not really ninja yet, how they're not even qualified to beginning until he gives them his test. and it has a 66.6% success, like, passing rate. I'm pretty sure that's what it was in the show. And so he'd tell them not to eat because they might throw up, same as usual, yada yada yada. So, time skip to the next day. They all show up at the training grounds early, and they'd show up in this exact order: Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. Naruto, of course, would not eat. He's following what his instructor, Shinobi, is telling him. Sasuke and Sakura would do the same, same as in canon. And they'd all be waiting for Kakashi for a couple hours. And when Kakashi would pop up, Sakura and Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't be screaming or anything. Sasuke would be like, "You've wasted my time. Really? You gonna do this?" And Naruto would just be looking at Kakashi with a analytic gaze. But Sakura would still yell at Kakashi for being late. And the same events would happen leading up to the start of the test. And this time, instead of Naruto taking on Kakashi head on, he decides to gather up Sakura and Sasuke in order to make a plan. Because how is he? Because remember, he has much better knowledge of Jonin and their power in this timeline. So how would he, logically speaking, be able to go up against a Jonin, previous Anbu captain? Nah, just ain't happening. So he would gather up Sasuke and Sakura. He would point this out to them. Sasuke would, of course, underestimate a Jonin's power and be like, "I can do this alone. I don't need your help." And so he'd attack Kakashi alone. It'd be in a sneak attack manner, of course. Kakashi would dodge his initial either throwing of a kunai or charging of a fist, and he would proceed to hammer Sasuke into the ground. Next up would be Naruto, because Sakura's run off to go help her Sasuke-kun, and so Naruto's stuck fighting Kakashi. Kakashi, of course, feels on guard around Naruto due to his Eldritch God within his soul. And so they'd fight. Naruto is way more well versed in this universe, and so he'd hold his own for a quick second and then be pummeled into the ground just like Sasuke. And then Sasuke would see the error of trying to attack a Jonin by himself when Naruto comes over and extends a hand of, "Hey, we're tools. We aren't strong enough to fight him by ourselves. We need to work together to show him how powerful tools can be in the right hands." Sasuke would, of course, agree to this, and Sakura would then agree to it because it's her Sasuke. So Naruto comes up with a plan. I'm not going to go into detail in this plan because, well, I don't feel like it. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys, but hey. They end up passing the bell test because, well, they all worked together. Naruto himself, Naruto in this universe got everyone together after them getting pummeled into the ground, and they used the power of teamwork, and Kakashi was impressed. But yeah, that's it for today's part of What If. Cthulhu was sealed inside of Naruto. It will go more off canon as the parts progress, but without further ado, comment this episode sounds different in the comments if, well, you made it this far. And just keep in mind, I'm trying to bring y'all a reading of Herbert West the Reanimator, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. And without further ado, stay chaotic, my chaotic minions.